is Western Mass News on ABC 40.
The Anti-Defamation League issuing an audit this week showcasing the number of anti-Semitic incidents in 2024. The results are a major concern for state leaders. Welcome to Western Mass News at 4. I'm Amanda Martin Ryan. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lockery joins us live in studio to explain. Reagan?
Right, Amanda. State Senator John Vilas is Senate Chair of the Massachusetts Legislature's Committee to
Sorry about that. We're having some audio issues. The senator says Massachusetts is now ranked the 5th highest state in the country when it comes to anti-Semitic hate. And according to the ADL's report, there's been an 893% increase over the last decade across the country in terms of anti-Semitic incidents. And in 2024, anti-Semitic incidents in New England have broken all previous annual records for the 5th year in a row. Today, Reagan sat down with State Senator Vilas. He told Western Mass News his initial response to seeing these numbers was that the commission they created to combat anti-Semitism is needed.
There were folks, when we first did this, that said, wait, why are you doing this? And it's because the numbers, right? I had heard from countless people, constituents throughout the district about individual cases of anti-Semitism. And then the numbers continue to come out and go on unabated. And it's not getting better, it's getting significantly worse.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll dig deeper into some of these numbers as well as what the commission is doing to really crack down on these issues of anti-Semitism.